Who killed the most people in history? Hitler? Stalin? Maybe Genghis Khan? No. The deadliest leader of all time is Mao Zedong. One researcher calculated that the Chinese dictator was responsible for the deaths of 42.5 million people, a number equivalent to the entire population of Canada today. But how did this happen? The Great Leap into disaster. By the mid-20th century, China had a population of over 500 million people. Yet, 7 out of 10 Chinese citizens were poor farmers. In terms of economic power, China was 3 times smaller than the Soviet Union and 7 times smaller than the United States. Mao had one goal: to surpass both superpowers. His solution? The Great Leap Forward. He forced millions of farmers into massive communes, stripping them of their land. The government ordered people to produce steel in backyard furnaces, melting down pots, pans, and even farm tools. Meanwhile, grain was seized by the state to feed cities and fund industrialization. The result? Total collapse. For 3 years, China suffered a famine of unimaginable scale. Crops rotted in the fields, people starved, and in some cases, they turned to cannibalism. In total, 35 million people died, wiped out not by war, but by their own government. Who was to blame? According to Mao, the opposition. He refused to take responsibility, instead launching the Cultural Revolution, a violent purge of anyone who questioned his rule. Mao's Red Guards, radicalized youth loyal to his ideology, hunted down so-called enemies of the revolution. Professors, doctors, and intellectuals were dragged into the streets, beaten, humiliated, and executed. In just 10 years, over 500,000 people were killed, not by famine, but by organized political terror. By the time Mao died in 1976, China was shattered. His policies led to one of the deadliest mass killings in human history. And yet, in China today, Mao's portrait still hangs over Tiananmen Square. His face is on every banknote. He is remembered as a hero. But the truth, Mao Zedong wasn't just a leader. He was the bloodiest tyrant in history,